What's up guys? So today I'm going to be performing and teaching you this really cool interactive card trick that involves your spectator doing some of the work, and it is quite easy to perform and has a really powerful effect on your spectator. And if you are new here to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more card and magic trick performance and tutorial videos like this one. And now let's get right into this trick. Okay, so I would start off this trick by placing this red deck off to the side here, and my spectator can even hold on to it, put it in their pocket, whatever they want to. And now at this point I'm just going to give the blue cards some shuffles, just like so, and I will give them a riffle shuffle as well, getting the cards mixed up. So at this point, I would hand the deck to my spectator, and they are going to deal down as many face-down cards as they want to. I'm not forcing them to stop anywhere. My spectator could honestly deal down as many cards as they want to. So let's just say my spectator stops dealing down cards right here, completely free spot. We don't need the rest of the deck for now. And what we're going to do here is I would have my spectator deal down the remaining cards into two separate piles. So they would go ahead and do it. They're just going to deal down cards like this into two separate piles. And I'm just going to speed up the video here so you guys don't have to sit through me dealing down these cards. So let's speed up the video. Okay, so once my spectator is done dealing down the cards, we're going to go ahead and turn over the top two cards from these piles. So we have the Jack of Spades and the Five of Hearts. And at this point, I would give my spectator the option of choosing either one of these two cards to be their selection. It honestly does not matter. I'm not forcing them to choose either one of these two cards. So let's just say my spectator wants their selection to be the Jack of Spades. And keep in mind here, the more cards you dealt down from this deck, that obviously would have changed what these two cards would have been. So let's say my spectator, like I just said, wants their selection to be the Jack of Spades. And at this point, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to the red deck that has been in your sight the entire time, or in my spectator's pocket. There's no way I could have got to this deck throughout the trick at all. And what we're going to do here is really slowly, I'm just going to open up the deck, and I would have my spectator go through the cards in their hands to themselves. So they would go through the cards just like this. As they're spreading through, they would notice that one card, as you guys can see here, actually has a piece of tape on it. And this piece of tape is the only card that has tape on it, as you guys can see. And this piece of tape, as you guys can read, it says, I knew you would choose this card. And let's turn it over. Keep in mind here, you're selecting the Jack of Spades. I actually knew that you would choose the Jack of Spades. Once again, that is the only card in the deck that has tape on it. So that is the card trick. I hope you guys like this one, and if you want to learn how to do it, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you guys liked that card trick, and the good thing about this trick is that it is easy to perform, has a really powerful effect, and a lot of it happens in your spectator's hands. And all you're going to need to do is take two decks with different colored backs, and what you're going to do is you're going to take out any two cards you want from one of the decks. In this case, I just shows you Jack of Spades, Five of Hearts, does not matter. You're going to take out any two cards, and then you're going to take out the corresponding cards from your other colored deck. And what you're going to do is you're going to write some sort of, prediction. In this case, I just said, I knew you would choose this card. You can just write prediction. Anything you want that just makes this card unique in the way that it has writing on the back or on the front. So you're going to take some tape, or like I just said, you can write on the back of it. I would suggest using tape so you don't just, ruin your deck, but it's obviously up to you guys. So you write prediction, I knew you would choose this card, anything like that. You're going to write that on the back of one of your corresponding cards here, and then you are going to write it on the front of the other card. And the setup is you're going to take these two cards with the writing on the front and back. You're just going to place them somewhere face up into the middle of the deck. So you're going to place the first one, so you place it right here. You're going to place the 5 right here, and then you're going to place a couple cards on top of it, 2 to 3, and then you're going to place the other card right above that. So it should look like this. Make sure you have a couple cards separating your two spectator selections. I'll explain how we force these two cards in your spectator in a second. So you're going to take the two cards, make sure there are some cards in between them, place them into the middle of this deck, and you are ready to go. And you're going to place this into the box, and you don't have to do anything with anything else from here with this deck. And now the setup is really, really easy for this with this deck. You're just going to place them in any order you want on top of the deck. So from here, you are ready to start the trick, and make sure you can just go up to your spectator with the cards in both boxes. Makes for a little bit better effect, in my opinion. So you're going to tell your spectator you're going to be using these two cards for the trick, and you can have them just hold on to the red deck. And also, it is really important to memorize which card has the writing on the back and which card has the writing on the front. front. So in this case, we had the writing on the back of the Jack of Spades and the writing on the front on the Five of Hearts. Just make sure you guys remember that. It's going to be really important for this trick. So you're going to have your spectators hold on to this deck. You can place it off to the side. Just make sure that they know you can't get to it in any way possible. Then you're going to take out this deck here, and you're going to tell them you're going to shuffle up the cards. What I did in the performance was I just did some overhand shuffles, just like this, slid off some cards, and then brought the rest of the cards right to the top. So I kept those 2 cards on top of the deck. Jack of Spades, Five of Hearts. Just do any shuffles you want to keep, or false cuts, just to keep them on top of the deck. Easiest way to do a riffle shuffle. You finish with the hand that has those 2 cards, and they're still on top of the deck, just like this. So from here, this is the part of the trick where you hand the deck off to your spectator. So what they're going to do is you're going to tell them they're going to deal down cards face down, and they can just stop wherever they want to. And it's really important that your spectator deals down past these first 2 cards. So the easiest way to make it so they do that is just hand the deck to your spectator. You're going to tell them just to start dealing off cards. And you need to have your spectator deal down past your 2 predictions, the Jack of Spades and the Five of Hearts, because these are going to turn into their selections. So you're just going to, the easiest way to prevent them from, just dealing down like 1 or 2 cards, which you can't have them do, you're just going to hand it to them. You're going to say, just start dealing down cards. They're going to deal down their, 2 selections, your 2 predictions, and I'll explain how you force these cards onto them in a second. So they're going to deal down the cards, and then you can just tell them they can do as many as they want to, and just tell them they can, take like 5 to 10, just deal them down, just like so. It really does not matter. So your spectator, once they've done that, they'll go ahead and just stop right here. You're going to say, you could have stopped anywhere you wanted to. You're going to place the rest of the deck off to the side, and from here you're going to explain to them what they're going to do is they're just going to deal down these cards into 2 separate piles. So you're going to tell them just go 1 here, 1 there, and essentially what you're doing here is reversing the order of these cards. So keep in mind here you have your 2 predictions at the bottom of this pile, and once your spectator does this, they're just going to go 1 in each pile. You'll see here once we get to the top of this pile, you'll see since you are reversing the order, you are going to have your 2 predictions on the top, just like so. So you're going to have the Five of Hearts on the top of this pile and the Jack of Spades on top of this pile. It's a really easy and efficient way to force these 2 cards onto your spectator. And your spectator will not think anything of it because, keep in mind, they know they could have dealt down as many cards face down from this deck as they wanted to. And at this point, you're going to tell your spectator that they can choose either one of these 2 cards to be their selection, and make the point that you are not forcing them to choose either one of these 2 cards. You're not doing any special force or anything like that. So let's just say that my spectator, they chose the Five of Hearts, and you're going to think to yourself, where did you write on the Five of Hearts? Was it on the back or the front? You're going to know you wrote it on the front. So that's going to keep that in mind. You wrote your prediction on the front of the Five of Hearts. It's going to be in this pile. So you're going to say, okay, you could have chosen either one of the 2. You're just going to place the cards off to the side. You can just keep the Five of Hearts off. Separate that from the deck, and from here you're going to tell your spectator you're going to ask for the deck back if they were holding on to it, and make the point that you did not touch it throughout the trick at all. You're going to ask for the pack, and what you have to do here, don't open it face down just like so, because keep in mind you wrote your prediction on the back of the Jack of Spades. So what you need to do here is you have it full, you're just going to ask for it back, and you need to turn open the cards like so, and open them face up rather, because keep in mind, you wrote your prediction on the front of the Five of Hearts. So what you're going to do is you're going to give the deck to your spectator, and you're going to tell them just to go through the cards to themselves, and they will go through and they will see, once they get to the Five of Hearts, that there is something unique about that card. So once we spread through here, they'll see this tape, and you're going to say, okay, you see the Five of Hearts has some tape on it, and then they will read, I knew you will choose this card. And the important thing here is that the reason is that you place a couple cards in between the Jack of Spades, because you don't want your spectator to get too suspicious that the Jack of Spades was right next to the Five of Hearts, because keep in mind that was their other option for their selection. And let's say here your spectator chose the Jack of Spades as their selection. You would just need to memorize that the Jack of Spades has the writing on the back, so that means you are going to pull out the deck with the back face down, so it'll look just like this. You have the cards in the box, you take out the deck face down, because if your spectator chose the Jack of Spades, you know the writing's on the back. You're going to give the deck to your spectator. They're going to go through, and they will see, as they spread out the cards, that one card is unique in the sense sense that it has writing on the back. They'll read, I know you would choose this card. They'll spread out, you can tell them to spread out the rest of the cards. They will see no duct tape on the back of any of those, and then you can go ahead and turn it over and say their card was, the Jack of Spades. You'd say, turn it over and show them that you had actually predicted what their card would be. So that is really how the card trick works. It really only relies on you memorizing which card has a writing on the back and which card has a writing on the front, and the rest of it is basically self-working from there. Just remember you have the 2 forced selections on the top of the other deck. And the only downside of this trick is that you don't come off completely clean, because say your spectator was to go through the rest of the deck here, they would see that another card has writing on it with duct tape or without duct tape, depending on how you wrote your prediction on the card. But that's the only downside. It's not too big of a deal. Just ask for the deck back once your spectator, see that you had actually predicted what their card would be. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope the tutorial made sense for you guys. Definitely give this trick a try. It has a really powerful effect on your spectator. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.